Hi, C. Hi, Robyn. People are already saying hi in the chat.
Great.
Oh, yeah, this is a different Robyn. Robyn in the chat. And
Oh,
Robyn here, live at
that's so
Small
cool.
Con.
Hi, Robyn.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who's here and introduce our guest really quick. This is Robyn Warren of Geek Girl Strong. Robyn, what do you have planned for us today?
So we are going to do a little seated workout that I have done at a few different conventions. So I wanted to bring it to Small Things Convention.
Yay! Well, we're super excited. If folks have questions or anything throughout this, drop them in the chat. I will be monitoring things there. I am going to do the workout, but I'm going to be doing it on the internet. Also, if this is your first Small Things Con event, welcome. We're super excited to have you. You can see all the past events at bit.ly/smallthingscon. You can see stuff coming up this week. You can see things we did last week. It's all really fun. And yeah, we're super excited to get started. And so I think I'm going to let Robyn take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How do I turn off my own camera?
No clue.
I figured it out. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay. Bye. See you soon. So we are going to come back together in about 15 minutes, but we are going to start off with something that I've done for a workshop called Wellness for Geeks Who Sit. So it's targeting a lot of us who are gamers or artists or writers, or really just a lot of us that are sitting at home these days. And all that you need for this workout is a chair. So you'll see me with my phone. I swear it's just because I'm checking out my notes to make sure that we get to everything that I want to do with all of you today. So we're going to do a little bit of an arm warm out and workout. Same thing with the core or midsection. And then we're going to finish off with our legs. So this is going to be like a really quick little bit of movement in the middle of your day. So I hope it feels good and I hope it's helpful. All right. So we're going to start off by just warming up your arms by doing some punches. The only thing that I want you to make sure that you don't do is to lock out your elbow when you're punching. So you don't want it to like hurt. You want to keep really soft elbows, which just means not straightening them all the way. Besides that, the way that you punch doesn't really matter because we're just punching air. So you're going to bring your hands up towards your face. So I'm kind of at a 90-degree angle so that you can see from here. And then we're just going to take 10 punches going forward. I hope you're ready because I can't see you. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great job. So I think great job. I'm so used to giving positive feedback that I'm probably just going to say things like that to you. Next, we're going to go up to the ceiling doing the same thing. So one arm at a time. Let's try 10. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Let's try them going forward again. Do 10 more. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And shake your arms out. You might have already started feeling your arms burn a little bit, and now we're going to warm them up even more. So for some people, doing what we're about to do is going to feel a little bit like this. Coordination is something that takes a lot of people a lot of time to learn for certain movements. But we're all going to try, and I can't see you to judge you, so just do your best. I wouldn't judge you anyway, just saying. We're going to do 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So we're going to do that a bunch of times. We're just going to go for it. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Forward, forward, up, up. Forward, forward, up, up. Keep going. Up, up. Forward, forward, up, up. A little faster. Up, up. Forward, forward, up, up. Forward, forward, up, up. See how fast you can go. Even if it gets a little bit crazy, just keep moving your arms. Keep going. Almost there. Just a little bit more. One more time. And rest. Shake it out. Now your arms should feel a little bit warmer. Your whole body might even feel a little bit warmer doing this. What we're gonna do next is something that's really great for your wrists. So we can't exactly strengthen our joints, so we can't strengthen our knees through exercise. We can't strengthen our shoulders or our wrists, like I said. But what we can do is strengthen the muscles around those joints that support them. So for a lot of us that are using our hands for our phones, for our gaming controllers, for our art supplies or writing supplies, this might really come in handy for any discomfort that we're having in our hands or our wrist joints. So what we're gonna do is just open and close our hands really quickly. We're gonna start with our hands way up over our head like this. Spread your fingers out really wide. And then you're just gonna open and close them really quickly. Go. Just like this. Open and closing as fast as you can. Good job. And then we're going to go out to the side. Same thing. Open and close them nice and wide and nice and closed. Really quickly go down to your sides. Keep going. You're probably starting to feel it burn because you know that I am. And then back out to your sides. We're almost there. Ready? Back up. Just a little bit longer. Open and close as fast as you can and you're done. Great job. So you can kind of shake out your hands. You might have felt like your forearms are getting a little bit warmer. Do some little rolls with your wrists, going one way and then going the other way. You can kind of pull back on your hands like this if that feels good to you. Put it the other way and make sure to do the other side too. And flip your hand over. Awesome job. So what we're going to do now is you're going to see me move my chair, but you don't need to move whatever it is that you're on. I'm just moving so that you can see me from another angle. Perfect. Actually, I also think I'll move this back a little bit. All of the different streaming systems have a little bit of a different angle to them. So I'm going to push you all back up. You can see my David Tennant Doctor Who pillow over. It's reversed. There. All right. So get you set up. What we're going to do now are chair push-ups. They're also called hand elevated push-ups. They're a really great way to get you started on your push-up, even if you feel like you've never done one before or you don't have experience with them. You can do this on a kitchen countertop if you happen to be closer to one of those than a sturdy chair. You can do them on a couch, but sometimes they're a little squishy, and you'll see what I do with this cushion in a second. So I'm going to flip this cushion up so that I have something solid to press against for my push-ups. For a lot of people who don't have as much experience with doing this, you'll probably want your chair up against a wall or to have a friend or loved one, someone who cares about you and doesn't want you to fall, hold on to the chair for you. So what we're going to do is bring your hands either on the side like this or right on top of the chair. You don't really want it on the front edge of a chair that can move for obvious safety reasons. You don't want it slipping out from underneath you. Then you're going to bring both feet back behind you like this, and I'm up on my toes. So right now I'm holding a plank with my hands elevated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down as far as I can towards the chair and push myself back up. So I'm going to have to keep my abs really tight. So I'm going to squeeze them, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Squeeze my legs, squeeze my glute muscles or my butt, and pull my shoulders back. And then I'm going to go down towards the chair and back up. Now, if you are someone who hasn't done this before or you're just getting started, even doing this is really great, and it's a really great start. So the only thing I don't want you to do is to have your arms straight out. I see a lot of the push-up contests happening right now, and people are doing their push-ups like this, which is really bad for your shoulders. I'm going to turn around and show you. Instead, I want you to give it a try with your elbows on the inside of your shoulders. So not up here, somewhere down here. It's going to feel harder on your triceps or the muscles on the back of your arm. There you go, you can see it better. But it's a lot safer for your shoulder joints. So we're going to try 5 of these all together in your own time, obviously. Ready? Everything tight. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. Good. Take a little breather, shake it out, maybe do a little dance, a little bit of movement, and then we're going to try 5 more. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great job. So now you just did 10 push-ups, and we're going to move on with the workout for the sake of time. You know what? I'm going to stay this way because the next thing that we're going to talk about is posture. So, being that so many of us are sitting a lot now, maybe more than usual, even if you already do sit a lot, we're going to talk a little bit about how to take care of our back when we're doing that. So a lot of people don't know our lower backs like to do a lot of work if our abdominals or our core in the front isn't doing a lot of work. So let's start out by stretching a little bit. We're just going to sit all the way back, bring your back away from your legs, and then you're going to pull the front of your knees, pull your chest all the way through, and switch again. So just understanding how your back can curve in both directions. So it can curve all the way back, and it can curve all the way forward. And you might have done this movement before in like a yoga class, but on the floor, the cat-cow poses, they can feel really good for your back. And then now I just want you to kind of chill and sit how you normally sit. So now what you're going to do is pull your shoulders up, back, and down. You might feel that your chest is already opened a little bit more than usual. You're probably using your shoulder blades a little bit more too now. Now what I want you to do is notice where your pelvis bone is, that big bone that like has your hips and your tailbone and everything else on it, in it. And I want for you to do what we just did with those cat-cows. Tuck your pelvis under and then pull your pelvis out. Good. So it's like you're tucking your tail underneath you, like you're sad, and then you're pulling your tail from underneath you. So sad pad foot, happy pad foot. And your tail stays out behind you in order to sit up nice and tall. If you need to do that up, back, and down thing again, now's a good time. So now that we're sitting up nice and tall, we want to make sure that we're using our core like I referenced before in your plank. So you're going to take your core, or the front of your core, your stomach, because it goes all the way around, and you're going to make it nice and tight, like you're bracing for a punch. So you take your ribs and you pull them down towards your hips, and you brace. Good. Now you're going to hold on to the sides of your chair in that position, and you're going to lift one leg at a time. So lift a knee up and down, up, down, up, down, up. If you can start to let go of your hands, give that a try. Up, down. Check in with your posture. Make sure that you're happy, that your tail is out from underneath you. Make sure that your abdominals are really bracing, like they're really strong, bracing for a punch. And if this feels okay to you, if you want to stay here, that's fine. You can bring your hands to your ears, and we're going to twist. Twist towards the leg. Twist your whole torso, not just your elbow. So you don't want to cut corners and just do this. We're going to keep our elbows where they are and twist all the way. Just a little bit more, and you're done. Great job. We're going to do one more thing, the legs. So maybe I'll move back a little bit to make sure you can see my feet. Because what we're going to do are quick feet. So if you live in an apartment or you have neighbors underneath you, you're going to want to sit back a little bit to do this so that your legs don't make a lot of sound. If you're someone like me who lives on a ground floor, you can kind of lean forward and make a little bit more sound. Ready? Go. Keep going. Almost there. Good job. And rest. Last exercise we're going to do. You're going to stand up if you have the space to and you're able to. You're going to turn your feet out about 30 degrees. I don't know exactly what that looks like still, but I always tell people that there's this Ravenclaw in the Geek Girl Strong community who swears that she knows exactly what 30-degree feet out to look like. You can ask her sometime if you come to one of our events. What we're going to do now is send your hips back to your chair, push your heels down into the floor, and stand up. It's a squat. If you sit down and stand back up a whole bunch of times, you've just done a whole bunch of squats. So let's do 5 together. Ready? Go. Sit and up. So you can stay on the edge of your chair like I am, or you can decide to sit all the way back and stand up. Good. 2 more. 1 more. Great job. And now we're just going to finish up with a couple of stretches. That should be good for a lot of people who are doing a lot of sitting. So what you're going to do is take your hand, place it around your back like this. I'm going to come back to a seated position. Take your other hand, place it on the side of your head, and pull it off to the side gently. And take this shoulder and pull it down towards the floor, away from your ear. Good. Gently release. Let's do the other side. This hand comes to the side of your head and pull gently while this shoulder again pulls down towards the floor, away from your ear. Good job. One last thing. We're going to take your leg. The ankle is going to cross over the other knee. If this position feels very uncomfortable for you, I want for you to cross at the ankles, like that. I'm going to stay up here just because I have the space to do it and I feel comfortable. I'm also sitting on the edge of my chair because I'm in the under 5'5" club. So if I sit too far back, my feet just swing. You're going to take your hand that's on the same side of the bent knee, push it away from you, and then you're just going to take this hand and hold your foot, sit up nice and tall like we just spoke about, and bring yourself nice and close to that front leg. You should feel a really big stretch in your hip back here somewhere. Good, and slowly come out of that. It's always good to come out of stretches slowly for safety. A lot of people get hurt jumping out of stretches. Same thing. Hand pushes the knee away a little bit if it's up here. And then you're going to bring yourself fold over towards the bent leg. Almost there. And slowly come out. And give yourself a round of applause. I have a feeling that you did really great. Thanks for joining us. We're gonna chat now. Ooh, perfect timing.
Thank you. That's because I was doing the workshop along, although I did evaporate midway through the workout because I was coming to you live from my living room, and now my child has woken up and
the
living room.
The working from home life.
Totally. Yeah. So that was good. I like discovered I am much stiffer than I thought I was.
Was it the last stretch?
Yeah. But the push-ups were good. I felt like, oh, now I'm making some progress here.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Elizabeth is washing her hands after like putting her hands on the floor and all that. So that's good. Smart. Social distancing, part of the new way of doing things.
Absolutely.
If folks, I have a couple of questions that I'm going to ask to Robyn, but if folks have questions at all about like, you know, just fitness or staying healthy or things you can do while you're inside, drop them in the chat and we'll be able to answer those as we talk as well. So Robyn, you are the founder of Geek Girl Strong.
Yep.
And so I'm really curious for anybody who doesn't know what that is to tell us, like, what is Geek Girl Strong and like what inspired you to found such a magical thing?
Sure. So Geek Girl Strong is a geeky wellness community that I started first back in 2015 while I was a New York City public school teacher. And I was teaching PE and health. So that's what my degrees are in. I have a bachelor's in physical education and a master's in health education. And in my work with children, I taught middle school and high school kids. I really started noticing that a lot of them seemed to feel like they had to choose between, it was like right when they got to the 7th grade. I don't know how old your kiddo is.
Yeah, he's like a toddler still. So,
okay. So
the world is in front of him.
Yeah. Lots of opportunities still open to him. So a lot of them, especially my female identifying students, would get to about 7th grade and seem like they had to choose, right? Like, were they going to be bookish and smart and like get really good grades? Were they going to be athletic and a tomboy? Were they going to be pretty and just like really good at socializing and things like that? And which track were they going to choose? And me being, you know, I'm only in my early 30s now. At the time I was in my 20s, being a younger woman of color who of small stature, I am not your typical PE teacher. And then adding on to all of that, they started realizing that I was out from work around the time of New York Comic Con every year.
Nice.
And then I started telling them about my other interests in order to connect with them. About anime and about Harry Potter and about comic books and about all of these other books and taking their recommendations. So I got a chance to show those kids that you can have all sorts of interests while still also enjoying working out and talking about eating well and talking about therapy and all of these other things. Basically, one day I went to a meetup group called Geek Girl Brunch. I was talking about my work as a teacher, and a lot of the women there started asking if I ever trained adults or coached adults. And I basically said, well, I do now.
I do. Here's my card.
Right, exactly. And then over the course of a few years, I started Geek Girl Strong, which they took and made it a community. I started it off as a health educator working with people individually. They wanted more, and I was happy to provide it. So it's now been 2 years that I'm running it full time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That must have been so valuable for those kids also to just know, like, it's hard. You get into middle school and you get really big into like, this is what my role is. And like,
yeah, like this is what people congratulate me about. And this is what people don't care if I do. It's a lot of the value systems we really start to pick up on people's reactions to us at that age. And I miss my kids a lot. It's the only thing I miss about being a public school teacher. Everyone's always like, oh, the kids must have been so awful. And I'm like, no, I miss my kids. They're the only parents.
Kids are why you do it. There's all sorts of
Absolutely.
We have a question from Ashley, which is Geek Girl Strong only for New Yorkers? Which is probably an interesting question right now.
That's a very good question. So yes, I'm based out of New York City. I live in Brooklyn. I'm from here, but I've been fortunate enough through just starting to get opportunities, like I said, traveling to different conventions. So I've been able to travel around the country quite a bit. And we now have members through our online pay what you can challenge and other events, online events like that. We have members from all over the US. We have members in Canada. We have members in Australia. We have members everywhere. So if you're interested, there are a lot of ways to join in from afar. Especially now, because I'm doing all of my programming, I'm taking it online instead of in person.
This is the perfect time to get yourself in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of the pandemic, I am curious, like, why is exercise like so important right now? Because it sort of feels like everything's kind of going to the wayside, but why is it valuable?
I mean, I'm biased because it's something that I've enjoyed for a long time, but I absolutely know that PE was not everyone's favorite subject. In fact, a lot of people have a lot of awful memories and experiences of
We didn't have a cool teacher like you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's the best compliment I can ever get from adults. But one, it's something that we can control in a time that we can't control a lot of things. So it's something that you can do with yourself that is within your power, which I find really important. And I'm someone who lives with a mental illness, and I actually use exercise as a way of like treating it or just coping. It's a really big coping mechanism for me. And it's crazy, but a lot of studies have actually found that exercise allows for a lot of people who have experienced trauma, like a worldwide pandemic, connect with themselves and their bodies, and helps them practice mindfulness because of when you're exercising and having to be mindful of where your body is and what you're doing. And it helps with your immune system. It's not a number one thing, but if you are exercising, it allows for your body to do all the things it wants to do for you. And I always tell people, like, you have to assist it. So, you know, even if we're taking medication, we have to give the medication its best chance to work for us by taking care of ourselves.
That's interesting. That's really like what we're all doing now with all the social distancing stuff, right? Is trying to give the world its best chance.
Exactly.
So that's like a micro version.
Yep. And if each of us do it, like, hopefully we'll stay away from each other. Those things.
Are there any things that you have found that particularly improve your mood during this time of social distancing? Like, it could be exercises or it could be whatever.
Yeah, so like I said, exercising is really big for me. But I always like to remind people that exercise can be a lot of different things. It's just movement. It can be putting on a favorite song and dancing by yourself with no one there. Exactly. It can be sitting down and standing up a whole bunch of times. You know, I really love playing video games, and I have for basically all of my life. I was introduced to it really young. So my partner and I will sometimes play video games like Mario Party, and then in between every mini game, we'll do like a set of push-ups.
That's very badass. Very badass way of playing Mario Party.
Yeah.
I do like I catch a fish in Animal Crossing.
Right. So like we were playing Animal Crossing the other day. We were also playing D&D online with our party. And like in between each of my turns, because we were in a battle, I was doing some push-ups and some squats like in my chair. And my friends all just ignore me at this point. See me get up. No one says anything anymore because they know what I do, and they know it's good for them if I can do it, because then I'm okay.
Well, once you exercise really regularly, like you start to need it, you know?
Absolutely. My partner many times has very gently been like, "Are you okay? When's the last time that you exercised? Would you like to?" Because he just knows, you know, endorphins get released. People feel better mentally a lot of the times afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Exercise is good for so much, and none of us really want to do it.
So I've been talking to my clients a lot about that feeling. And
interesting.
What I've been really going with lately has been that a lot of us, the bigger us, always say like, "Oh, I know I should work out. I know I should." And I think it's really good to question where our shoulds come from. Like, who told you that you should? And yes, we should work out, but I think a better question is, why do you want to? So not because I know I should, not, you know, maybe like really big things like I don't want to die, but maybe something smaller, like I have a client who's thinking about becoming a mom, and she's like, "I want to be able to run around a toddler in a few years when I'm ready to do that. So I want to make sure that I can reach down and touch my toes with no problem, because I might be picking up a kid." Or, you know, someone who's seen their family members have really unhealthy habits and they would like to not pass that down themselves. Or someone like me who's just kind of like, I know I function better when I do. So even if I don't feel better right now, I know from my experiences that my mental health is better off when I do it.
Yeah, that's really good to be thinking about. I think everybody feels like so much pressure right now about what we should be doing during this time.
Yep.
It's really nice to think about, like, kind of your other motivations and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think shoulds motivate anybody, actually. I think it makes most of us feel guilty.
Yeah, right? Man, yeah. If you're thinking about having a kid, really work on those up-down motions.
Yeah.
Now he's like almost 2, and it's constantly all day long.
I'm sure.
Up, down, up, down. I'm sitting there being like, I really should have practiced this more. Never too late though. Now I get to do it with a 25-pound weight. So
exactly.
So if people have any last minute questions, like throw them in there. We're going to be wrapping up, but we already had people asking, like, can they get involved? So if people do want to support your work or take your classes, where should they go?
So you can go to geekgirlstrong.com. That has basically everything. I've been trying my best to stay up to date, but with not knowing what is happening the next day almost ever, that's harder. The social media I use most often is Instagram, and it's at geekgirlstrong. I have a newsletter that you can sign up with through the website. So that's a really good way of keeping up to date. I only send emails twice a month. And then maybe here and there in between, and it has health tips, it has early access to tickets. But if you want earlier access to tickets, you can join our Patreon community that has, I think, just over 80 geeks in it at this point.
Cool.
And we do monthly check-ins on everybody to see how everyone's doing. This one was a little rough this month, to be honest. And for supporting Geek Girl Strong so that we can continue doing the work that we're doing, you can either get access to all of the worksheets that I use with private clients, wellness tools to help you set yourself up. You can get themed geeky workout playlists, and then like in the same theme each month, a workout and a recipe, depending on the level of support that you can offer right now. And this month coming up for May will all be role-playing game themed stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that's at patreon.com/geekgirlstrong. It's all Geek Girl Strong. Just search Geek Girl Strong.
Very cool. Yeah, you're well branded. I do want to remind folks also, like, if you enjoy what we're doing at Small Things Con, the HPA also needs support to do all the cool work we're doing. Yes. The best way to do that is to go to bit.ly/support Granger 2020. I just dropped that link in the chat. Cool. It's Support Granger 2020 because originally we were running Hermione's presidential campaign, and we had a ton of in-person events that we were like all planned out and we're really excited about. None of that's happening now, but we are still doing cool stuff here. And so that's a great place to support the HPA also. We have one.
Really quickly, I just want to say that I really love HPA's election campaign work. I was actually in one of the public service announcements for the last election.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, when everyone was talking about reasons why they vote. So it's something I feel very passionate about. Don't forget to go to their website and give them support.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of like election related stuff that will be coming out. So if you are have a little bit of an activist-y energy still, like, don't worry, we have a place to channel it. Do you have like 2 more questions? Do you have? All right, awesome. Let's see. Can I put it on the? I can.
Fancy.
Do you have any advice on how to overcome the catch-22 of not exercising, adding to depression, and then feeling too sluggish to exercise?
Totally. Yeah, it's a really great question, and it's one that I get a lot because it's such a good question. And it's hard to answer very generally, but the best general response that I can give to most people is to start trying to redefine what you consider exercising to be. So sometimes people are really hard on themselves, and we are especially hard on ourselves when we're not feeling well mentally. So trying to remind yourself that going for a walk is exercising, that sitting on the couch and standing back up a few times like we just did is exercising, and that every little bit counts. Your body doesn't suddenly forget that you did that movement. If you do a little bit, every day would be great, right? But we're not feeling up to it every single day. But each time that you do a little bit, it's like you're gaining experience points, and you never have to give up your experience points. Sometimes you have to re-up on your health points, but those experience points are always yours. So just remember that every little bit counts, and to get out of the mindset that it has to be some sweaty, super difficult workout. It can just be that walk, maybe up and down your stairs if you're staying inside right now. If you're in a more rural area, not like me, you can probably take a really nice walk without being around people. And, just doing stuff like that, and to give yourself a lot of grace.
That's beautiful. That's kind of similar to another question folks ask. So I think there's just, oh, I have a real quick question, which is
Sure.
just we are told you should exercise for like 20 to 30 minutes like 5 times a week, but the 20 to 30 minutes, do they have to all be at the same time? Does like
No.
5 minute chunk, 5 minute chunk, that count?
Yes, it counts. So every little bit counts, first of all. Second of all, it just depends on the kind of exercising that you're doing. So if you're only doing like 5 minutes of stretching every day, that might not, it also depends on your goals, right? But it might not give you the health benefits that you're looking for. A really great way to think about it is on a scale of 1 to 10, do at least something that feels to you like a 4 or higher for health benefits.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's super helpful. And this is our very last question, which is, do you have any online only clients?
I do. When you go to when you go to the website, there is a completely online, always, like not just right now, online health coaching option that people can take a look at. And I do free consultations for half an hour.
Awesome. I think you're going to have some interested people.
I hope so. I'd love to meet them.
Well, thank you so much, Robyn, for joining us. It was really nice to like move a little bit and like figure out how to keep moving. So it was great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Everyone else, go to bit.ly/smallthingscon. You can see what's coming up the rest of the week. Thank you so much. Have an awesome afternoon, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.